Tomorrow is the 3-year anniversary of your elimination from the Toronto series in Game 6 and Clay getting injured. I'm wondering if you can just remember your emotions on that day. You know, I just watched a video of you slamming that ball down when Clay went down and squatting and, you know, looking very pensive. Your emotions, and then also some perspective of, like, 3 years later, here you are back in a critical Game 5.
Yeah, it was mixed emotions all the way around. I had Katie's injury a couple days before, Clay going down, us trying to just find a way to stay alive. Um, it was the end of an era at Oracle as well, so it's a lot going on. I don't really. It's hard to like pick out exactly what you were feeling because it was all kind of mixed together. But we lost the game. Clay goes down. He's probably gonna be out for a while. You're getting ready for the summer, trying to regroup and figure out what's gonna happen next year and all that. And I think it's 3 years ago, and all that we've been through, all that Clay's been through, personally since that time, and to be back here, it adds to the sense of gratitude of being back on the stage. Um, and that chapter will always be part of our journey for sure. Something we probably talk about for a very long time. And hopefully we can get this job done and pay homage to that 3-year journey, actually leading to something truly special.
Ron?
Ron Krajcik, San Francisco Chronicle. Rory's up too, in case you were wondering. I'm sure.
I was wondering. Thank you very much.
I know it's my job. As much defensive attention and physicality as you faced throughout the playoffs and in this series, how much more or what different do you expect tomorrow night, given the way you played Friday?
I don't know, because every team's built different. Every team has a certain way of doing things that you've perfected or tried to perfect over the course of a season. And they have a certain defensive identity that has been successful for them. You obviously understand in a series, adjustments can happen on the fly in between games. You got to be ready to adapt. And I think I'll be ready for that. We will be ready for that, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, for us to be successful and win 2 more games, it comes down to the way that we defend, the way that we bring intensity, especially to start games, understanding how they respond after losses. That was one of the big points in the series. 2 great teams. They know how to respond. They know how to win in other people's buildings. We've shown that. They've shown that. And we have to be ready for that response and hopefully, throw the first punch tomorrow. Whatever adjustment that means is going to be a part of it, but it's secondary to just the effort and intensity and physicality that we need to have, knowing that's their calling card. That's how they, try to force success when they're coming off a loss.
Tim?
Steph, I think Clay's leading you guys in minutes played in the playoffs. He's way up there. You're second on the team. You're way up there on the list of most playoff minutes. You're the old guy.
He used to be a 6-man though.
Said he, yeah. Jeez. Wow. Now you've thrown me off. No, you're coming off. You had the foot thing. You guys are the old guys, yet you seem you might be getting stronger. Do you have a sense of pride in that? And what might it mean? Like how long this window is going to be open?
We've talked about that. We feel like I've said it plenty of times. We have a lot left in the tank in terms of what we can do out there on the floor. And they bring up the age thing. It's something to talk about, but it doesn't really reflect how we approach this playoff journey and our confidence in what we can do going forward. But that doesn't happen by accident. It's just the work that you put into it. Clay, especially the fact that he was on a minutes restriction for like a month, and slowly got to ramp it up. Every couple of weeks leading up to the playoffs, and I think he was so proud of himself that when he first, I think, eclipsed 40 minutes in a regular season game one time. Just the pride of, like, he's talked about it, like a year ago he wasn't even running. So it speaks to just how much this matters, how important we know the work that goes on behind the scenes is to being ready for whatever happens out there in the games that matter. So we're obviously only worried about right now, but we definitely feel like we have a lot left in the tank.
Anthony?
Yeah, two questions. One quick one. Just how does the foot feel?
Great,
Any treatment or anything you've needed? Or
but always, but
yeah. And then on the Draymond, this is obviously a challenge for him offensively in the series with their length, the way they're playing. What is the key to, I guess, thriving better offensively when he's on the floor?
It comes down to understanding that we have our certain pet plays and actions that we have done for years and years and years. They've scouted it. They have a certain approach and personnel that's trying to take those away. And some of our bread and butter plays, but a lot of it is just being a lot more organized on our spacing and our force on pick and rolls, on cuts and stuff like that, so that we can just get everybody in the right spots, and whether they want to shade, off a certain guy or try to clog things up, we have a counter to all of that. And I think he is going to do an amazing job of adapting and figuring out where he can find his angles, his ways to impact on the offensive end, and that'll again feed off of the way he impacts the game on the defensive end every game. So usually the high IQ guys figure it out, and he's at the top of that list when it comes to understanding the game of basketball.
On your left, second row.
Hey, Steph, Alex Espinoza with 95.7 The Game. You're 3-0 with those purple shoes. Is there anything to that? Or are you going to bring them back out again at some point?
I did not even know that,
Yeah.
so I appreciate you. I don't know if that messes with the juju on there, if I'm aware of
My
the
bad.
record. So now I got a lot of different colors, so we'll see what happens. God, I got me thinking now too.
Adam, next.
Stuff. The U.S. Open's obviously in Boston this week. You have obviously much bigger priorities, but do you try to squeeze in part of the practice round Wednesday? Do you have golfers hitting you up for tickets? Do you just watch it on Thursday and chill? Or?
I got a couple of friends on the tour that'll probably hit me up between now and next week if they get the early tee time, the early late on Thursday. We'll see. Or Thursday, Friday, we'll see. But I'm not going out there. Obviously, all my attention's on rest and recovery and getting ready. I'll pop in front of the TV and make sure I watch as much of it as possible, though.
Joe.
Forward those tickets our way.
Say what?
Forward those tickets our
Oh,
way.
absolutely. I've never been to the Country Club Brookline, so you can send me some pictures if you get out there.
What's when you have a game like you had on Friday? What's that like to watch the film of it?
I mean, I don't know. It's it's cool because when you watch film, there's a lot of different emotions because you usually know the outcome of the game, and so whether you play well individually or not, you always know what happens at the end. It's like watching the end of a movie. It's always nice to know that the movie turns out great at the end. But I think it's more so just the balance of watching what worked and trying to understand those patterns so that you can repeat that for the next game, maybe anticipate some adjustments that might happen and try to slow it down and try to be one step ahead of that. In the meantime, I'm also watching a lot of different reactions in the crowd and on the bench and stuff like that too. That's always some good entertainment.
Back right.
Steph, Steve was just comparing you to Roger Federer in terms of how the greats do things, and he was.
I gotta get a list of all the people he's compared. Tim Duncan, Roger Federer, who added to the list. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Today it was Roger, and he was saying, especially in terms of, he said that you guys met him a few years ago in China, and how you find that joy in the daily routine, the work you put in, the discipline. So in your perspective, how is that to finding that joy and that passion and that work that you put in every day to sustain the highest level for a long period of time?
It goes back to just how I started in the game back when I was playing AAU back in the day. I love to work. You kind of get lost in and the sessions you have on the court and practice in the weight room, wherever it is, because you know it's going to lead to you being as prepared as possible for those games. Um, Try to have as much fun as possible. The days that you want to get up and do the work, the days that you don't, um, days you're tired, all that type of stuff. But it's all built on just my approach, I think, from the time I started, and just trying to carry that every year for as long as I can. And win, lose, whatever it is, no matter how you play, you have to keep coming back to the well to keep sharpening the toolkit and find ways to evolve your game. That is the hardest part of what we do. I mean, going out there on the floor, everything's more reactive, and you're kind of just living in the competition. But the hardest part of what we do is the grind of the year-long prep that it takes to be great at this level.
Davide and Vince, last two.
Hey, Steph, Davide Chinellato with Gazzetta in Italy. You're playing in your 6 finals in 8 years. How much has this become routine for you, and how much is, wow, I'm playing for a championship again?
You understand I guess the routine of it and the ebbs and flows of game days, off days, media days, travel days, especially how to keep your body prepared on those long east to west coast flights and all that. So that helps with just the experience. Every task is different though when you get out there, because even when we played Cleveland 4 times, it's a different team every year that you had to kind of prepare against, and that's just part of it. And I love every experience at this stage, because there's so much attention on what we do. You understand the whole world's watching you when you're out there on the court, and you're obviously keeping in mind what you're playing for, and be the last team standing. So I love everything about it.
Vince?
Steph, during Game 4, you couldn't see it because you were playing, but Dwayne Wade and LeBron James had back and forth praising you throughout the course of the game, and I think Dwayne said something after it, saying that they got to make room for you on the Mount Rushmore. So when you see that, if you see that, are you amused? Are you surprised? Do you roll your eyes? Like, what is your reaction when you hear stuff like that or see it?
Any player would tell you, when you get respect and praise from your colleagues and the guys that have been on the stage and know what this is about, know how hard it is to be at this level and do what we do, that means the world. You obviously want everybody to appreciate what you do and all that, but it hits different when it's people that you looked up to once upon a time, when they were, having their first and second experiences, and you're watching them like, I wonder what that's like. And then you have some battles, and for them to, go out of their way and speak about the impact on the game and all that type of stuff, it means the world for sure. Because it takes, great to recognize what it takes to do what we do, for sure.
Thank you, Steph.